No, their roster is not talented enough. They're going to be the next Oklahoma, who, if they make the playoffs, they're going to get beat by
Oh,
47 points.
welcome back to Lone Star CFB. Tonight we are talking about the number 4 Texas Christian University, even though they don't like to be called that now for some reason. Horned Frogs going on the road to Austin to face the number 18 Texas Fighting Longhorns.
Yes, sir.
Christian, this is shaping up to be a pretty good game. Y'all are 7 point favorites, man. I think that y'all can win this one, but I don't know about 7 points. What do you think about that, man?
Man, if we could play like we do in the first half and the second half, I'd pick us by 30. The problem is, in the last 2 weeks, well, we had a bye week in between. In the last two games, we've scored a total of 6 points in the second half. Um, that's not going to cut it this week. TCU's a team. They're a good team. They're well rounded. They're well coached by Sonny Dykes. Duggan has been playing really well this year, even after not starting. He lost the starting job and ended up coming in and playing really well. We cannot, absolutely cannot just be winning by 14. 21 probably isn't enough in the second half. We have to be able to score. Um, last week, I think our game plan's got to be the same as last week. Uh,
Yeah.
we held Deuce Vaughn to 83 yards or 73 yards rushing. If we can do that to Keandre Miller, that makes me feel pretty good. Not great, but pretty good. And then
Yeah.
Bijan, of course, having 209 yards. If we can duplicate that,
He had 209.
the running, yeah, he had 209. And
I wish I could have watched that game.
yeah, Bijan had his longest rush was 68 yards, and he was like 9 yards short of the end zone on that one. He didn't even score on that one.
Goodness.
He scored on another big one. But yeah, he had 30 carries for 209. He averaged 7.0 yards per carry. Just another day at the office for
It's
the
not
best
bad
running
at
back in
all.
college football. Hey, backup was Roshan Johnson had 7 carries for 62 yards, averaging 8.9 yards per carry. So if we're able to run the ball well, uh, we should be okay. Quinn Ewers has to be able to throw the ball. I will say kudos to Quinn. He didn't get sacked at all last week, and that's a
That's
that's a
really
pretty big
good.
deal.
That's a great
Yeah,
sign for
we
sure, especially against K State's defense. That seems to be pretty good so far this year.
Quinn has actually only been sacked twice all season. He missed
That's
3 games,
huge.
but yeah, he's really good at stepping up in the pocket, evading pressure, um,
And
getting the
getting rid of
ball
the
out.
ball.
And yeah, it may
And it's
not
not
always
like
be
he's
the
throwing
most
them away. I mean, it's not.
well.
They're
Yeah,
not great, but they're not bad either. Half of them aren't picks. Like there's
yeah,
some
he's
quarterbacks that they'll throw the ball away and it's a pick.
yeah, he's his completion percentage this year is kind of terrible. He's at 57.8%. But when you look at it in against Oklahoma State, they asked him to throw the ball 49 times. Well, he's only thrown the ball 173 all season. So literally almost a third of those passes came from that game, and that 40-mile-an-hour wind had a really bad game. So his completion percentage is low, but it's a little bit skewed based off of one game.
Yeah.
Um, but what are your initial thoughts?
See, this is where we might differ because looking at TCU on the road, they haven't played great. Like Kansas, they only won by 7, which is a really good Kansas team this year, right? That's whenever Kansas was number 19 in the nation. I think they were 5-0 at that point, maybe. Yeah, they're probably 5-0 or whatever their streak was at that point. Yeah, they were 5-0 and they lost. That was their first loss was against TCU. Um, it's a good Kansas team. West Virginia, they went to West Virginia, only won by 10, which is better than what Baylor did, right? I get it. All right, I get it. I get it. We don't have to talk about that no more. But like I don't know. I feel like they're not separating themselves. Like they had a huge comeback win on the road, or not on the road, at home against Oklahoma State. They didn't look great against SMU. which was right down the street. I don't know. I'm not feeling this TCU team really. Like I think that their best thing they got going for them is hurting every single quarterback that they play against, and that's
Yeah,
not good. But
that's a big part of their team right now, and I don't know what to think about that because I don't want to go out there and say they're playing dirty.
yeah,
But it is kind of questionable when you've knocked out, I think, 5 starting quarterbacks now. Um, it does have to.
and Will
There's a
Howard.
point where you have to raise a question. And Will Howard, they did injure him as well. There is a point in which you have to say something is happening,
And
and I don't know. I'd have to see the
part of me,
hits.
I want to ask myself, how many of those games where they hurt quarterbacks were those comeback wins? Because,
Well,
um,
Kansas State and Oklahoma State for sure.
yeah, Kansas State, they
Right.
shut them out in the second half after Kansas State dropped 21 in the second quarter.
Now, Oklahoma
Um,
State's Spencer Sanders played the game.
I thought he got hurt that game.
I'm pretty sure he did, but he played the rest of the game.
Yeah, I mean, they scored 10 in overtime and then 6 in the third quarter, nothing in the fourth. I don't know. Who else did they hurt? They hurt Dylan Gabriel too, didn't they?
It hurt Gabriel, yeah. That's
That
when
one, that
Bevel
one
came
wasn't
in.
close, actually.
Yeah, hurting Daniels for Kansas. That they would have won. Kansas probably would have won that game
It
if
looks like they
Daniels
had the
stays in.
momentum. Looking at the summary, anyways. But I mean, I feel like Kansas isn't great on the road. If y'all bring the same energy y'all did against Alabama, I'm very confident that y'all will beat them. But the thing is that it's not Alabama coming in. Is it going to be another sold out DKR though?
It has to be. It absolutely has to be. You're getting. Oh my gosh. Like Sark said it. There's not been a Texas hasn't beat a top 5 team in DKR since '99, and we haven't had many opportunities to do so either. So
This is your second time this year.
right. So this is a big game. College football game days coming.
The second
I
time
would
this year.
right. I would imagine, man. If anything, if we're not sold out 30 minutes before game time, just open the gates.
Yeah.
To anybody wearing burnt orange, just let them
Pretty
in.
much. Yeah. I mean, that'd be dope. I might go to Austin for that.
I mean, it's kind of one of those things. You just need it loud. It holds 105. We need 108. It needs to be
Just
loud.
like you did.
TCU doesn't. Their coaches don't need to be able to yell to their players to play.
I don't think Sonny Dykes and Max Duggan will be able to come back like Nick Saban and Bryce Young did. Like y'all didn't have a big
No.
lead on Alabama, but they're not. TCU's not going to be the team to march down the field with a minute and 18 seconds left and win either.
No, because they want to run the ball. I mean, TCU's running back Keandre Miller. He's averaging 6.6 yards per carry, 12 touchdowns. He's right up there with Bijan and Richard Reese and Deuce Vaughn. I mean, running back and Eric Gray. The running backs in the Big 12 are stout for sure.
Yeah, it's crazy. Most of them are from small schools. Like Keandre Miller's from Mount Enterprise. That's maybe 15 minutes away from Henderson, and it's a 2A school. Nobody's heard of Mount Enterprise except for me. I grew up around there. Kind of.
We know Mount Enterprise,
but we're from around this area. Like,
yeah,
he's great. Like he's a really good running back. I see Snapchat stories all the time about after the games 9-0, 8-0, 7-0, whatever, and I want to. I don't want to see that this weekend. I don't want to, and I think y'all can be the team to do it. I think y'all can be the team to do it for sure.
I think so too. The question is going to be Quentin Johnson. He didn't play much last week, and he was limited in practice today. We'll see how he. I think it looks like his injury is day to day, but the one thing I'm looking at, he's got 42 catches for 650 yards, 15.5 average, and 4 touchdowns. In comparison to an Xavier Worthy, he's got 2 more receptions for 100 more yards, 2.5 yards per catch over, but Xavier Worthy is more than double his touchdowns. He's got 9, while Johnson has 4. If we can eliminate him as a threat, because here's what people don't understand: Quentin Johnston Let's see if I can pull up his game by game stats. Yeah. So people are like, "Oh man, this dude, he's amazing." And don't get me wrong, he is. He's really good. But he's got what was the number? 650 yards. Well, he's had 2 games this year where he had 180 and 206. So 386 of those yards, over half, well over
From two
half,
games.
are from 2 games. What 2 games? The Kansas and Oklahoma State game.
The
Other than
two
that,
they had
he's posted a four receptions for 41 yards against OU, 4 receptions for 74 against Kansas State, 4 receptions for 76 against West Virginia, and he scored a touchdown in each of the last 4 games. So, which Quentin Johnston do we get? Is Ryan Watts going to be the guy lined up on him?
That's what I'm thinking, dude. I think y'all's secondary line. I think your secondary is going to have a great matchup against him. I think, because y'all have a lot of crazy athletic, crazy big. Ryan Watts is a big dude, and y'all have great. Y'all's coverage is pretty damn good.
Yeah, they're playing good, and talking about sacks. Texas leads the country in pressures on the quarterback. But we're nowhere near the top in sacks. We are number 1 in the country on QB pressures. We're nowhere near number 1 in sacks. But Max Duggan has been sacked 17 times. So hopefully we're able to get home, in that. Now, for Texas, like I said,
I think y'all will.
Sacked twice. Hudson Carter's been sacked 8 times. So even then, on our season, it's only 10, where this one player has 17, and they've got another guy with 1, so they've got 18 sacks. So that's gonna matter. QB pressures are gonna matter. Can we get him off rhythm throwing the ball? If we can make him step out of the pocket instead of up in the pocket, I think we can throw off Quentin Johnston's route. You just make that quarterback make one extra step, and their timing is off. Timing is everything.
I think that's going to be a great thing for y'all secondary too. I think y'all's defensive line, and I don't know how often y'all are bringing DeMarvin on. I haven't been able to watch as many games as closely as I want to, but even DeMarvin's good in coverage. He's a tall, lanky, fast dude at outside linebacker. He'll be able to cover Keandre if they send him out in the flats or whatever else. I think that y'all secondary will get a whole lot of coverage sacks. I think y'all will be able to help out the defensive line for sure this week. Y'all secondary is pretty good. I like y'all secondary a lot more than I like Baylor's secondary for sure this year. But that's to do with
I hope so.
Youth.
I will say, they've got one guy. His name is D. Winters. He's a linebacker. He's leading the team in sacks with 6.5. So they're going to blitz him. We're going to have to protect against that. We can't be getting sacked. They've got 19 sacks on the season, and we're
offensive line is really good too.
Our offensive line is playing well. We're also at 19 sacks. It's gonna be a game. Yeah, our offensive line is good. If that guy was a right end going up against our left tackle, I'd feel really good. I think it's that way. I think the defense is flipped. I think it's right end on left tackle. It might be.
Yeah, it is.
I don't know if it's how the quarterback looks, so that's a left end, or if it's the defensive view.
No, it's how the defense looks. Yeah.
Yeah, so the right end against the left tackle. I like that matchup. Yeah, I trust Kelvin Banks to block for Quinn Ewers. He's like
nasty.
I mean, he's a true freshman. The kid's 18. I'm so thankful that Mario Cristobal left Oregon and he decommitted to come to Texas.
That dude is nasty.
Great. But
I love that guy.
Yeah, I don't really think I see us winning this game just because of the second half. I don't. We can't play in the second half. We just haven't all season. We haven't really the last 2 seasons. And the TCU, although I think they're a bit fraudulent, I don't think they're as good as their record shows. I can't say that they're not going to score. Like, they're going to score, and our offense isn't doing it. So, yeah.
Oh goodness, yeah. Dude, their defense is giving up about 15 more yards than y'all. That doesn't make you feel better?
No.
Now, granted, they're getting like 50 more yards than y'all. Mostly passing.
Yeah, they haven't played Alabama though. So
Yeah, they haven't played Alabama.
that's
They're
one thing. All
also
these stats are a little skewed.
they're giving up 150 yards rushing a game, which bodes
That bodes
really
well
well for
for
y'all.
us.
Yeah,
Yeah,
y'all's
I mean,
offensive line is great. Y'all's running backs are spectacular, dude. Y'all have I think y'all have probably the best running back room in the nation by far,
I think so.
especially
I don't
like
think
by
it's by
committee.
far. I don't think it's by far. I think when you just look at number ones and number twos, I think Ohio State is right up there with us, um, with Travion Henderson and whoever
Michigan
their other
isn't
guy
bad
is.
either.
Michigan, Blake Corum, and their
He's
backup. But
good.
I think when you start getting into your number three, your number four, when your number 3, 4, and 5 are all back 5 stars. Um, how many people in the country have a fifth
Stars
string
don't
five
matter.
star?
Stars
Yeah,
don't matter.
okay.
That's just
Bijan
me.
was a
That's
5 star.
just
I mean, hey.
that's just me.
Stars actually stars do matter. There's good statistics to show that your rating in high school, especially 5 stars. There's certain position groups where being a 5 star at that position group,
Yeah,
your percentage of
it
making it
matters.
to the NFL is insane. Yeah, it's a lot higher.
Yeah,
But for the most part, I agree with you. The stars don't matter, but there's some where they matter. But that's pretty much what I have, man. I don't even want to get into a score prediction, to be honest, because
yeah. I don't want to get
it's
into a
so
pick either
hard.
because we still got to do our Lone Star locks.
Right. It's just so hard because if I could say that our offense would play not even amazing in the second half, but just play coherent and score, then I'd probably put us in the high 30s, low 40s in points. But then it's like, well, if our offense doesn't play, then we might finish the game with 27. It just there's no way for me to predict how our offense in the second half will play. Um, so yeah, I don't think we win, and if we do, it's gonna have to be just like we won against Iowa State and last week against K State. It's gonna be the final drive. TCU's got the ball. Our defense either gets the stop or we don't. So,
I got a little bit more hope for y'all than that,
I mean,
personally.
I don't want to sound like I don't have hope, because don't get me wrong. Like I said, and clip it. I don't care. Post it where TCU's not that good. They're not the fourth best team in the country.
No,
They're 9 and
no.
0, and that's like they're impressive. Don't get me wrong; they're doing a lot better than I thought they would. But when you look at those other 3 teams and the 3 or 4 teams that's behind them, and stars don't matter, whatever. No, their roster is not talented enough. They're gonna be the next Oklahoma, who, if they make the playoffs, they're gonna get beat by
Oh,
47 points in the
Georgia's
first game.
stomping.
I mean, it's just they're very fraudulent. Don't get me wrong. If anybody, I'm not saying Texas should be in the playoff. I'm not saying we would do any better, but y'all aren't. You're not that guy, pal. You're not that
I
guy.
think y'all would put up a better fight than TCU for sure
I mean, we
against
played
Georgia.
we played Bama down to the wire. Now against
Exactly.
Tennessee or Georgia, Ohio State, Michigan, no. But yeah, if we had to play
I
a
think
USC,
I might give it to you on Michigan, maybe, but
mm,
maybe
I will.
over the
I
other
don't know.
3. Yeah.
But yeah, man, that's all we have. If y'all made it this far, we always forget to say it at the beginning. Honestly, uh, yeah, Logan, just clip this part, put this at the beginning. Y'all do us a favor and like the video. Okay, leave us a comment what y'all think about this game and subscribe to the channel. We are almost at 80. We do have a $25 giveaway at 100, as y'all can see throughout the whole video down here on the rolling text. Y'all can follow him at L Patterson _3. You can follow me at Christian H88, and you can follow our channel on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok now,
Yeah.
Lone Star _CFB. Appreciate y'all.